about 5 minutes ago, and my phone just for whatever reason decided that it was going to crash the stream, and then I got a booking came in just as I was going to like start the stream. So I'd click start, and then this message had come through regarding a gig, and I was just responding to it, and then the phone, it just completely crashed. So welcome back to another stream. Today we're doing the aftermath of the bounce to the base that took place in Doncaster. So I'm going to tell you all about it, and I'm going to tell you how it went, and just give you an insight into what happened really. So, Bounce to the Base is an event that takes place in Doncaster. It launched on Friday, but it's kind of like a rebrand of a existing event that kind of took place at the same venue. So there was a night called I can't remember what it was called. I don't think it really particularly had a name. I think it was just something like the Tropic Bar Takeover. And anyway, the guy who was running that, he unfortunately, outside of music and promotion, he got a new job. And his new job was a job that unfortunately he works night shifts, and he couldn't basically, he didn't have the time to keep promoting, putting these events on anymore, DJing himself. So he left it to his good friend, who kind of took the sort of idea, took the night, and then kind of gave it this rebrand, and then sort of put this kind of like new night together. And to cut the story short, they launched on Friday, and I was blessed with being able to play on the set, and to be able to go back to back and do some really cool wavy gravy stuff on the decks. So Friday came, obviously the day of the event, and I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't looking forward to the event 100%, and that wasn't anything to do with the event. So I've got some stuff going on outside of music, and it was stuff that just wasn't making me feel too good. So I was a little bit, at first I was a bit like, do I really want to go and do this today? And then I actually thought, like, good music, good friends, good company would kind of put me in a bit of a sort of like better spirit and a bit of a better mood. And it did. It cheered me up. Obviously, what's going on family wise, outside of music and things like, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, just because, you know, I tried to sort of keep this channel sort of music related, but unfortunately, some things is going down at the moment. I've not been feeling the best about them, but we take each day sort of as it comes. So big shout to fishing. So I went to the event and had a really, really good time. So I went a little bit early to Doncaster, and I got picked up by a friend. We went back to his house, and I did something that I haven't done for a very, very, very long time, and I had a vinyl mix. So big shout to people coming in. So I had a vinyl mix for the first time in a very, very long time, and I'm not gonna lie, I was rusty when it came to having the vinyl mix. I was actually quite rusty, but my first mix on the vinyls, I actually didn't do as bad as I thought that I was gonna do, and I actually got a decent sort of mix in, and then at the second mix, it wasn't too bad, but it wasn't as good. And then the third mix, I couldn't get the tune in. It was just one of them really awkward vinyls to get in, and I couldn't get the vinyl in tune. So we did that, and then we went over to his other little outer shed, where he's got like an RX3, and he's got like the newer equipment, and we sort of went on to kind of like the digital mixing, and then I got one mix in, and then he had a little bit of an issue with the neighbour to do with a trampoline, so we had to turn the music off. So that was kind of that. And then we went over to the event, which was a really really good time. So myself and Liam Wilson, from 9:30 until 10:30, we did a B2B, and it was a really good B2B actually. I actually really enjoyed myself, and we played some really good bounce tunes. We played some absolutely belting bounce tunes, and I had a really really good time with the set, and dropped some absolute anthems in. The only thing I would say about anything I could penalise about the set, and that wasn't really anything to my fault or the person I went B2B with, but he stayed on the decks too long. Like he mixed another tune in, and by the time he'd mixed that tune in, like he'd gone into our set, so he should have not really mixed that tune in. But sometimes people just, they get a buzz, and they go and they cram that one last tune in. So what music is it that you do? So I do a wide variety of different music. So I DJ like rave music, so like dance club. So I do anything from house music up to trance to bounce to hardcore, all of that kind of stuff. And then occasionally I write raps to hip hop, and I do like hip hop tracks. Myself and a good friend of mine called Lee, who goes as the Layman, we do positive reggae tracks. So my friend has an alter ego called the Jigger Man, and during the lockdown we wrote some like positive reggae tracks. So we wrote one called The Good Life. It was kind of to show like just give positivity and like the good life to people. And then we did some like follow-ups. We did a track called Tunnel to show people that whatever you're going through, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And we still write positive reggae today. Like we're writing a new one at the moment, which will be coming out very soon. Um, yeah, and I also I MC occasionally, like over drum and bass and stuff, and rave music, but mainly I DJ, mainly bounce music. But I do, like, I'm a multi-genre DJ, but I get a lot of line of work to do with bounce, and I actually produce my own. I do my own remixes and bootlegs of bounce, like of tunes and stuff like that. Um, so when it comes to doing music things, I do a lot of different things musically. I'm not just sort of tied to kind of like doing one thing. Like I'll kind of do a lot of different things. I also play keyboard as well. Not I'm not like by any means like anywhere really good at it, but I've learned a couple of rave melodies like from popular tunes on the keyboard, and so I can like jump on a keyboard and do like Faithless Insomnia and stuff like that. I can do Zombie Nation, and a couple of others that I've learned like melodies for, sort of just watching videos online and stuff. But I'm not, I can't sit there and do like a whole piano piece, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit, good and bad in that kind of sense. When it comes to kind of like piano, keyboard, I can do the drums a little bit. Like again, I won't say I'm anywhere near what you'd call like anywhere like really good at it, but I can go on to the drum kit, and I can do a basic beat. I can hold a basic beat together, but I can't do anything really complicated. Like I can't go into doing like really complex break beats, and guitar. Like I can't play the guitar full stop. Like I can strum a note at the most. Like, but that's about as far as it goes. So yeah, so we played the set on Friday. It went really well. I crammed in my latest remix, which I actually think it's one of my favourite tunes that I've produced up to date. as far as like doing the bounce bootlegs and the bounce remixes goes. I don't know what it was, but I started doing a remix of Lady Gaga, Alejandro, and I just, for whatever reason, I just picked the right sounds, I think, for the track. So I picked a really nice bass for it, and it's not necessarily what you would call your sort of like typical normal donk bass. It's got a little bit more of kind of like a Melbourne bass in there, and it kind of sounds, a little bit different to your average bass. And then I just kind of got like the vocal was just really nice and clean. The vocal just seemed to sit over the kick and bass really nicely. The bass and everything, like when it, with it being in the right key, kind of following the bass pattern of the original track. That was obviously another thing that just kind of, just kind of really helped with the track. And then I got to a point where I suppose I got a little bit stuck, and I wasn't really sure, like, right, what am I gonna do next with it? Kind of put these like melodies together and did some stuff, and it didn't really sound that good. And I thought, you know what, like, I need to not kind of rush this. Because I think, if I get the right sounds and get everything that I want, the track's just gonna sound really good. And then a couple of days ago, I got given a free version of Serum. I found a crack for Serum. Someone sent me a crack for Serum, which is like a really good plugin for producing. And he sent me some presets over, some really nice lead sounds and stuff. And I just built this lead sound up, and it just like it honestly transformed the track. And I absolutely love it. Like it's an absolute belter of a tune. So I put this track together and obviously tested it at the gig. And it went down really well. Like it sounded really good on the system. And right just before I kind of like I was in the booth and we'd started the set, but the Liam who I was B2B with, he'd started the set, so he was kind of playing his first two tracks. And then basically some people from like from the audience, the crowd, whatever you want to call it, came up to me, and it was like, you could tell they kind of liked things more on the commercial side. So I was a little bit like, they were like, at first they were kind of like, oh, can you drop some Britney Spears? And I was a bit like, I don't know if I've got any, like, because obviously it's bound, so I can't just, start, oh, I'm going to do an R&B set. So I was thinking, do I have any bounce versions of, you know, have I got any bounce versions of Britney Spears? So I obviously didn't think I did. So I dropped my tune, and obviously wasn't Britney Spears, but it was on the level of Britney Spears. Where you from? I'm from Hull. Mate, there's no one in the street, or there's one person. Yeah, so this whole streaming thing for me, so I'll tell you. So I I guess the main reason why I do these streams is I'm lazy. So I'm very lazy. So for me, like if I was to record one of these videos and then edit them and upload them, it's time consuming for me. So for me, what I do is I throw one of these little live streams up, and essentially, to cut the story short, it goes live, but then after it goes live, people can watch it back. So like once it goes live, it stays up as a video on my YouTube. So just to save me like having to just record and just having to kind of like edit things and upload things and wait for things to upload, I just do a live stream. And then if people want to tune in and people want to watch, they can tune in, they can watch, they can listen, they can comment. If not, then I live stream it as if I was recording a video. So like, yeah, I do waffle on a little bit, but like I say, it's kind of just for me, more out of laziness, but also because it's time consuming, and I don't get a lot of time. So for me, I'd sit there and I'd record that video, and then I'd be like, I'll go and make a coffee, and then I'll edit it. And then I wouldn't edit it, and then before you know it, a couple of days have passed, and then it never went up, and then it would probably never get uploaded. So, but I'm glad you understand. Can you be a mod? Well, you've only just really joined the stream. My channel, I don't think it's really that big that it needs mods. Like um, I don't do all that much on this channel. Like, so I do these live streams, and at these live streams, they normally, so they're like updates. So like, if I get any, like if I've got a new gig coming up, then I come live, I announce the gig, talk about the gig, where I'm going to be playing, where it is, what genre I'm going to be playing, any sort of information I can give you about sort of like the gig, I'll give you. Then when I'm at the gigs, depending on how the gig goes, I'll try and get footage at the gigs, or like if people, somebody in the audience gets a video of me, then I'll try and get them to send it to me, and then I'll put it on the channel. But sometimes, unfortunately, we live in a world where we're sort of going through like cost of living. A lot of events that I go and play, unfortunately, there's not always a bit of a crowd. So sometimes I'll go to an event and there's not really many people at the event. So sometimes, and sometimes the set times I play as well are not always like the best thing. So take Friday for example. So Friday I had to pick an earlier set because I was going home on the last train. Whereas if I'd have picked one in the early hours, it would have been like really good for that club, because like when all the kind of like pubs shut down, do you know what I mean? They would all kind of roll into the club, and then the club would be more busier. Whereas later on, it's not always as busy. So unfortunately, sometimes there isn't always the best crowd there. And when there isn't the best crowd there, I don't like to put videos up online, because that can kind of tarnish their name and what they're trying to build up. Because unfortunately, you put a video up and people don't think, oh, he must have just been on an early set. Like people who are jealous, people who are bitter, people who like to unfortunately like talk behind your back, they'll unfortunately look at that video and they'll just think, oh, it's a dead night. They'll just think it's a quiet night, and then they'll go and spread that around, and then before you know it, you've got five people saying, that, oh, I won't go to that night. It was quiet. There was nobody there. And then before you know it, there's another five people that are saying the same thing. So get time and don't have to worry about editing. Getting time is very hard. So I work a part-time job, but the part-time job kind of, I think, I hate to say it, but I think I do more work there than I should, in terms of like it's a part-time job, but there's like days. So I do like a youth job, and we do a lot of like youth things. So I do like a youth music job. So I have 2 days that are dedicated to me being in an office. So I have like an office, and I do like office work and stuff. And then sometimes, like on other days where I'm not in the office, I'm at like different places, and we run like music sessions and things. So for example, like on a Monday we run a music session called the Music Lab, and it takes place in like a live music venue every Monday night. Now at those music sessions, we have to take photographs. Like it's part of, like, we have to show like on social media like what the sessions are doing, and we have to take like media phones and media cameras. Now I don't work in the office on a Monday, so I don't go to I don't go in the office on a Monday to work. However, I have to go to the office and pick the camera up, because if I don't go and pick it up, nobody will go and pick it up, if that makes sense. So it's kind of one of them things, because like I'm kind of like there's other people that work at like where I work, but I'm like the only person that really that works at like the office place that does the music session on a night. So there's another person who does it with us, and he's just started working sort of in the building where my office is. But he also doesn't work on a Monday in that office. So unfortunately, and he's got like childcare and stuff. So me, I have no choice but to walk into the office and go and pick up the camera. But then, like on other days where I wouldn't be in the office, but something else is happening, like I have to go and pick equipment up, or I have to go and drop equipment off, or I do different things, and before you know it, what is only supposed to be like a part-time job, you end up doing something every day, and then I gig on a weekend. And then I go and visit my grandparents, and I do this and I do that. So before you know it, like you've got something happening every day, and then on top of that, if I had to sit down and record videos and edit videos, like the timing's just not there, like I've been at a festival all day today helping out at a stall. I volunteered and chose to do it, but like I couldn't have sat down and edited a video today. So coming live like this is obviously, it makes sense for me, because like I say, I can just click go live. People can either tune in live or not, and then essentially, they can watch it after it's been live as well. You Hull or Leeds? What do you mean by Hull or Leeds? If you mean like football team, then I don't support football. Oh yeah, football. Yeah, so I don't support football. I've never liked football. I'll be honest. Um, I think it like I'll be honest, and this is not to offend any football fans, but I think it's a puff. I think it's a puff sport. I think it's just not for me personally. Like I've got nothing against people that like it. I know it's a big thing. I know it's like one of the biggest things in the world is football, and there's hundreds of thousands of people that support teams and watch games and go to the pub when it's on. For me, I just don't give a crap really. Like when the World Cup's on, like sometimes like I'll go to the pub like just for the atmosphere. And like as part of like I work in youth centres, so like if there's a big match on, like the youth centres will screen it. And to be fair, like I don't mind watching it, but I don't go and watch every game, and I'm not like deeply into it. So I'm into motorbike racing. So I don't know if you've heard of the Isle of Man TT, but my granddad used to race over there quite a lot of years ago, and he had a race bike. He had a Manx Norton, a 350, and he raced in the TT. So we've been brought up with bikes all our lives. My dad was, and then I was, and sort of as a kid, I wasn't really into bikes as much as they was, and then sort of as I got older, I got a little bit more into bikes, and then I got bikes on the road, and then I've just recently bought myself a motorbike again to have on the road, and I'm quite tempted to take up just doing a little bit of racing, just not really to say like, oh, I want to be this professional racer that wants to kind of race like all the time and do all these different things. The main reason for it is like there's just a couple of like goals that like just little almost like just kind of like life goals that I kind of want to do. And one of the life goals is to do a lap of the TT. So I don't know how I'd go about doing that, because I don't think, because I've got bad eyesight. So I don't think, because of my eyesight, I don't think I could like physically be allowed to race in the TT. Like I don't think they'd let you, because you have to do like health checks and things, and I don't think the eyes would allow me to like physically fully race there. But I don't know if there was like just like ever a chance where they close the road off, and like one person like gets the chance, like just a bunch of people, they get the chance just to do a lap of the TT. Whether you have to, like, I don't know, maybe you follow like a trained rider, or you follow like a trained marshal, and and you do kind of like a controlled speed lap to an extent. So you do get to like go fast a bit, so you kind of get the feel for it, but you don't go flat out like the riders do, but you do kind of get the chance to get a little bit of a feel of what it would be like to race round there. Like I'd like to do it just to kind of say like I've done a full, just to say I've done a full lap. Like I think it would be like a really cool thing, and like a really cool kind of like vibe, like just to say I've done it. So I don't really know about fully racing. Like I've been looking into it, like, to because I've been like not necessarily to do it, but I've been curious, like how do you get to that stage? Like, what do you actually need to compete in it? Like, just kind of being genuinely curious. But I suppose if there ever was a way where they would close the road off and you'd get the chance just to go around and do like a controlled speed lap, just even if it was a one-off thing, like, and they'd just do it, and just for one day, and you get the chance to go around. And I don't know, for what, so many of you go around, and then after that there's like another load of people that go around, and it's just like one day where they'd close the road, and it's just like it's just like an experience, the TT day. So like you bring your own road bikes, and or whatever, or I don't know, you can hire bikes there, and I don't know, maybe and you just go on the bike, and you just do like you do a fairly controlled speed lap, and you just follow somebody, and it's just like, you just do one lap, that's it. And even if you had to pay to do it, like, I don't know, you pay so much, and something like that. Or I don't know, maybe you do a course, maybe you do like a week's course, and then at the end of the week you do like a lap of the TT. So like during the week, maybe you go up to like Derby or something, and you just do like a little bit of practice of like riding, and you learn a bit about the course, and I don't know, maybe you go around the course, on like a bus or something, and you learn about all the points of the course. You could make something out of it, and I think it'd be like a really cool thing just to give people the experience who maybe don't necessarily want to, necessarily aren't gonna like physically go out there and start racing the TT, because not only is it the most dangerous motorcycle race in the world, but it's a very expensive thing to race. Like, yeah, getting parts for bikes and things is not the easiest thing on planet Earth. So I race bikes. I don't race bike. I like bike racing, not football. Do I have Twitch? So I've done Twitch loads of times over the years. I used to do video gaming on Twitch. Not anymore. I haven't done Twitch for a lot of years. I did it briefly a couple of years ago for DJing, but again, I just never fully got into it. So it just got left at that. So there we go. So we kind of went off topic, as we always do. That is kind of, I suppose, like one downside to doing these as a stream, that people can come in, they can ask you a question about a completely different topic, and then before you know it, you're baffled on for 10 minutes about something completely different. Do I drink? So I don't. So this is a tough one, right? So technically, technically I don't, but technically I do. So it's a really tough one. Um, so a couple of years ago, I took the decision that I wanted to stop drinking. So I was drinking, but I wouldn't say I had a problem with drinking, but I was drinking, and when I would have a drink, so like all through the weekdays, I'd be fine. You know, I could go all through the week without, without wanting a drink or without needing an alcoholic drink. I could go into a restaurant and I could have a meal in a pub, and I could have a soft drink. You know, I could have a glass of Coke as plain as day. No issues, nothing. It comes to a weekend, mates are having a mix at their house, having a few beers. Yeah, I'll come round and have a few beers. We're getting the spirits out, and then I'll get on the spirits, and I'd get quite drunk. Or we'd go to an event and there'd be a rave on. And I'd be fine. At first, I'd start casually having a few beers, and I'd be completely fine. Then I'd move on to, I don't know, let's have a few, spirits, and then the spirits would move, let's have some Jaeger bombs, and then before you know it, I was getting like really really drunk. And what the issue was is the music started doing well for me, so I started gigging a lot more. And what I noticed when I started gigging a lot more was when I was like getting drunk and stuff. I was missing a couple of gigs. So like, I turn up to a gig, I'd get quite drunk, and then they'd be like, "You're too drunk to play your set," and I'd miss the set, and I kind of quickly realised that like that was no good for me as a musician. That was no good for my name. So I took the opportunity and decided that that this drinking is doing me no good. It's no good for me. So I decided that I would start um, cutting down. So like if I was going to a gig, I'd like not have a drink at all, and I'd just get like a soft drink. And then I sort of did that, and I started to really notice kind of like the difference in myself, how I was feeling, and all of that kind of like all of that stuff. So absolutely crazy. To the point where I thought, you know what, like I don't actually really need drink in my life, to be fair with you. Um, so I went about, I think I went a full year completely sober. Didn't have a single alcoholic drink. Didn't need an alcoholic drink in my life. You know, it was just something that for me I didn't need it. It wasn't really serving me a purpose, so that was all fine and dandy. Fast forward to this year, and there's been a couple of occasions where I've had a drink, but I've not got drunk. A good way to describe it is a couple of weeks ago, about nearly a month ago, I went through to visit my granddad, and there was like a steam engine rally on in our town, and my granddad likes sort of like going and seeing old steam engines and old bikes. He used to race bikes, and once we'd looked round, the town was busy. There was a vibe in the town, so he wanted to go for a pint. So I just had like the one pint with him, and that was it. I just had the one pint, and that was it. We didn't go any further. He didn't have another pint. I didn't have another pint. And then I think probably a couple of months before that, me and a friend of mine, we went to a beer festival, just because a friend was going to be there. Like we was meeting a friend there, and it was like a big thing in their village, and we went, and we just tried a couple of ciders, and that was literally it. So I can't like obviously sit here and say, look, I fully don't drink. Like now and again, like once in a blue moon, I'll have like a pint, or I'll have like a couple of ciders if there's an occasion for it. And like for example, I might just have say a beer when it's Christmas, but the days of just having it, going out and drinking every weekend, like they have completely gone. Do I like boxing? Not really. I don't really condone violence. I've never. See, I used to like the wrestling, And I did do kickboxing for a little bit at one point. It was like a very brief stint. It was more like look, someone essentially, to cut the story short, my dad's girlfriend's daughter, basically she went, and it was just kind of the vibe of, like, look, I'm gonna go with you, that kind of thing. And I didn't really go for long, and in all honesty, like, I didn't love it. Like, I more just went because my dad's girlfriend's daughter was going, so it's kind of like stepsister, if you like. And I wasn't really that interested in it, really. Like, I had a little bit of fun, but it wasn't something I wanted to really pursue. So I didn't really take it any further. Like, I think, in all honesty, I might have even only gone for maybe something like 4 weeks or something, and then just thought, you know what, like, I'm not really asked about going. Wasn't really for me. I didn't do too bad at it, but I didn't love it at the same time. It was just a little bit, like, it's not really for me. So obviously that was that. And yeah, I'm not really a big boxing fan. It's just not for me. Like, in all fairness, like, I'm just not really keen on it. Like, there's other things I'd rather do. Like, I like having a game of darts. I like having a game of pool. I like going swimming. I like going on days out and adventure trips. But boxing and watching boxing, like, again, I watch the motorbike racing on telly now and again. I mainly follow the road racing. I like watching darts now and again if it's on telly. I don't sit there and, like, when every darts tournament's on, I don't sit there and watch the whole thing from start to finish. But my nan and granddad, they're into it, so if I'm at their house and it's on, like, like, I'll watch it, like, because it's on, and I enjoy it. Like, I'd rather play it than watch it, but that's just me. So anyway, we are gonna cut the stream in a moment. So I was doing, I when I can get my words out. Sounds like I've had a drink, doesn't it? I know I ramble on a lot. So when I did the gig on Friday, I previewed a new track, and I also put a preview of the track on Facebook for people to see. So if you probably won't have me on Facebook, but I go as Ashley Noble. You can see everything I'm doing and posting on there. But I previewed this track, and I'm gonna give you, before we end the stream, I'm gonna show you the project for it now. So here is the project in full swing. This is everything. So down here you've got all the like uplifters and the snare builds and the crashes and all the good stuff that kind of just adds to the track. And then all sort of here, so like here, we've got the vocal, and then down here we've got the like melodies and stuff, and then we've got like all the bass and the kicks and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to preview you a little part of the track, and it show you what I've kind of been working on. So what I'll do is just move that out of the way. You ready? So yeah, that's the tune. Obviously, there's more. There's like the whole second verse, another chorus, blah blah blah. So everything just really came together with that track. So I got Serum. So if you don't know what Serum is, I'll show you. So it's a really good plugin that you can use for like your music production. So it's just trying to load now. My computer and my FL does sometimes occasionally freeze, and it has froze just at the moment. But it's loading now. So it looks like this. So you might have seen it if you watched any like music production videos. But basically, you can just apply like loads of different sounds to it. So like if I click that, it's got like it's got like lead sounds, effect sounds, it's got bass sounds, it's got sim sounds, it's got like plucks and pads. But then if you click this menu, you can load presets, and if you make presets, you can also save presets as well. So like if you make like a really nice sound and you want to save that sound, so like I don't know, you want to use that same sound in a different track, like you can do that as well. So you can click that sound and you can click and save it, which is like a really really good thing. So you can like save effect, so you can like say, you can save the MIDI and stuff like that. So it's really good. But you can like find presets online, so people, they'll make like really nice lead sounds or bass sounds, and then they'll like give you like that preset for free, or like a pack of presets, and then you'll get that sound already sort of made, which is like really good, and then you can put them into your tracks. So Serum's like a really really good thing. It's something I've not had before when it comes to producing, but it's like proper opened up my world, definitely. And you get a lot of Serum presets online and stuff. So really really good in that sense. So this was a game changer. This is what really brought my track to life. So I was really buzzed about that. But yeah, this is the track. So I'll play you the lead on its own. So what I did was is I took the so basically the notes to the chorus of so that don't call my name, don't call my name. So and then play it so it plays the whole chorus. But then I looped it here, so it only plays this first section, which is really good. And then other than that, there was another lead I used here, which kind of builds up to that, and it goes like so there. And then there's also another lead as well. It's more like an ARP sound, but so it's a very similar sound to this one, but it's not as fat. So when I play it, so if I play this channel from here, so I'll just put all these in. So what happens? And then it gets fatter. So so that was kind of the vibe I wanted to give off, that the sound kind of, it starts off like this, but then it kind of goes into, well hang on, it goes into, and it just gives it that like so much better sound of the track. So the bass is like a little bit of a Melbourne donk, and that just follows the bass line of what the original track would be. And then we got some like, so this sound like, so nice pad sound, and then we've got a breakdown bass sound. That again just follows that same line, so it's really good. So yeah, it's a cool little track. I'm definitely really happy with it. I love it to pieces. It's like my little masterpiece that I'm really proud of. And hopefully you enjoy it too. So anyway, we've spoke, we've rambled, we've gone on far too long. It's just gone midnight. I'm absolutely shattered. So, like I say, Friday we had the gig, which went all down fine and good. And I'm going to be back with them again, so keep an eye out for that. And then Saturday I was up and I went to the festival. So I've been helping out at the Freedom Festival in Hull. So I think on Friday, Saturday morning, we got back somewhere around 2:30, went to bed, woke up the next morning, went to the festival, did the festival all day, came home briefly for a couple of hours, and then went over to Grimsby to support a trance night, and got in from Grimsby about 4:30, 5 o'clock, had a couple of hours sleep, and then went over to the festival again. So after a very hectic weekend, I am very tired. I'm back at work this week. I had a week off work last week, and then basically back to work. And then we're in Scotland next weekend. We're all the way in Oik, so I'm looking forward to that. Going away for a couple of days. Going to be exciting while playing a gig as well. So make sure to like, comment, share, and we'll see you soon when it lets me end.